countries are rated as to poverty level by indicators, how long somebody lives. Maybe in Haiti they live to be 46. I'm an old man in Haiti. I'm 57. I'm far past the lifespan, which is 46 or 48. Maybe in the Dominican Republic, the lifespan is 60. Still not great by our standards. You measure infant mortality. You know, of everybody that dies in Haiti on a normal day, half are children under 5 years old. And most of it is not access to clean water and getting gastroenteritis or pneumonias and not getting a medicine that would cost 4 cents a dose here in the United States. But their mortality level is also very high. Unemployment in Haiti is 80%. Maybe in Dominican Republic it's 50%. It's not great. In other words, if you look at the indicators of Dominican Republic, they're really not great. It's a very poor country. You don't understand that because tourism is enormous there and the resorts are fabulously developed there. But for the ordinary Dominican person, it's not the way that it is. So it's not like getting to the promised land if you can get there. Also, there's a long, difficult history between Dominican Republic and Haiti, which has been conflictual. We also have such relationships with countries. They happen in life. But it's not so easy for Dominicans to integrate in Haiti, and it's not so easy for Haitians to integrate in the Dominican Republic. So it's not exactly the best source of help in the first place, and there are complicated situations besides, But it's a good question because we have to think sideways to answer it. I want to give you another example of thinking sideways. So few people, half the kids in the country are in school. And when a poor mother is able to get her child into high school, that is quite a feat. Now let me ask you a simple question. The child from the slums who made it to high school, where do you think they do their homework? Where do you think they study? There's no lights where they live. There's no room to sit down where they live. Do you want to know where poor kids study when they make it to high school? You see them like herds. And wherever there is a street light that is on in the city, they are all under that street light till 11, 12, midnight, 1 in the morning studying. But of course what happens is nobody has power very long, and you can be sure sometime during that session that block is going to go off. And that whole herd is going to put out their feelers and find what part of the city has power, and they're going to walk to that part of the city, and they're going to sit under those streetlights to study. When those kids graduate high school, they deserve a 5-star medal and a standing ovation because their getting to the goal is a lot harder than for the privileged person who has lights at home, who has a desk, who can put on earphones, and who is exempt from work of the household in order to study, I know some of you have read or heard the stories of our burials of the dead, and the morgue is a despicable place, but let's think sideways again for a minute. You're living in a shack somewhere, and during the night your father dies. What do you do with him? You think you call 911? You think you call the police? Your father stays there in that little shack with all of the kids and with you all night long. And what are you going to do tomorrow? You have no car. You don't know anybody that has a car. Are you going to pay double fare and sit him up in the public transportation and bring him over to the city morgue? What do you do? People have to pay somebody with a wheelbarrow, and a bigger wheelbarrow that they call a burette, and you pay somebody $10, and this is how your father goes from your home all the way to the city morgue across town. It's terrible. It's humiliating. But the worst thing is if you ever even had an idea of what it's like inside of there, with the dead on top of each other, rotting, it's unbelievable what it's like. Where do you think a mother goes if she has to come and identify a dead child or a dead husband? The mother goes there. It's not like here, where it's prepared, stainless steel, the body is cleaned, soft music, a psychologist just down the hall. You have to go here to this cave of the dead and look at and find your loved one in a pile. these are all things about poverty people don't think of. You know, the studying under the streetlights and the eating one meal every 2 or 3 days, and having to deal with your dead loved ones this way. It's why it's so humiliating, you know, poverty, and so denigrating. It's a terrible, terrible thing. But that question helped us think sideways in that point. You know, it was a good question.